So I put out a post on social media pertaining to my opinion, which I think is rooted in a lot of fact when it comes to the war in Iran, the status of Israel, and our conscription to that country, and hopefully not for much longer.
Well, we are more informed than the average bear, right? So you definitely are infinitely more informed than the vast majority of people, especially in this country.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I have a friend that wants to argue with me about this point. By the way, that friend we talked about who said wanted to come on the podcast and defend Israel's position. Well, now that friend wants to bring on an expert to fill in her spot to come on the podcast.
No, thank you. Tell her no, thank you. Although just for curiosity, who's her expert?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, she said she's got a list.
Tell her we know the experts. We're not interested. Take her Hasbara elsewhere. So she obviously isn't confident enough in her own position. As soon as you told her she'd be coming on with both of us, she didn't feel that comfortable, right?
Yeah, so she said that she really wants to talk to me, and I'm thinking, okay, well, what do you want to talk about? My position is not changing. No matter what you say, no matter how much you cry, no matter how much you kvetch, it's not going to change. And
I just can't believe that she actually thinks she's going to tell me something that I haven't heard regarding that, not in, the general, in the great vastness of the universe, there is zillions of things I've never heard, but regarding Zionist talking points, I think I'm pretty well-versed. I'd say that when it comes to Zionist talking points, I know them all. I really do. So I honestly, for the life of me, cannot fathom what expert she thinks she's going to bring on that's going to really teach us what we need to know.
Well, here's something that you guys will find humorous. At least I found it pretty humorous. So this person who decided to come to my post and make a snide comment in my direction was somebody who I didn't really think much of, and I just said free Palestine, and then the person proceeded to start throwing the Hasbro line of there is no Palestine, it never existed, and it never will. Well, it turns out that the internet is forever. And when you decide to do a little digging into exactly who makes a statement like this, it turns out that the person who made this statement is a personal friend of Laura Loomer. Because of course that person would make such a stupid comment and then find themselves in a situation where I'm going to dig in on them to find out exactly what it is that their opinion is drawn from. And as far as I'm concerned, a person who would make that statement, who would just randomly find my personal Facebook page out of nowhere, is somebody who either has watched this show before, maybe is watching it right now, or because of the fact that Loomer is such a rage watcher, and we know that she is, and is probably aware of Jen and really doesn't like her and wants to sick one of her minions after us, hey, it completely checks out from where I stand.
Yeah, or there's just, also scumbags circulating through the same information silos. But you're telling me that this guy is Jewish?
Apparently.
Huh.
So the guy in question was from Brooklyn, moved to Israel, and now is living in South Florida. So I guess it's like triangulation.
And what is this? And what is this gentleman's name? I won't say gentleman. What is this pieces of shit name?
Mr. Rosen.
This is Damon Rosen. That's correct, guys. So this is Damon Rosen, who apparently thinks that Peter needs to be schooled about Palestine. Now, I don't know if Laura Loomer instigated this or not, and I don't know if she knows who I am. I really don't know. I don't know. I don't care. I feel fairly good being where I am now that the odds of me running into her ever are pretty slim to none. So I've sort of handled it from my end as far as avoiding some sort of, felony charge.
Yeah.
So that's all I can do. So. Yeah.
I think the more interesting aspect of this particular story is the fact that he did live in Israel and he is considered an activist and decided to write an article. And this was back in 2020. Colin, can I have that article, please?
So this guy is a dual citizen. He's a dual citizen. You know, I would think that for some people that might seem a little shifty. You know, I think that causes a certain amount of questions, especially for those people that are so, you know, gung-ho about patriotism and borders and such like that.
Yeah, and I also think
I think he looks a little East Asian too, libertarian social democrat, which isn't to say that, you know, his father isn't from somewhere in East Asia and his mother wasn't Jewish. Who knows, right? I mean, or vice versa. His dad's Jewish and his mother's from East Asia. Who knows?
So this article that we're going to share with you guys comes directly from IsraelNationalNews.com. And it's a hoot, to say the least. The anti-Israel, anti-Jewish rhetoric of Black Lives Matter by Damon Rosen.
And this is dated July 15th, 2020. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
So this is, but he didn't directly threaten you or anything, right? He was just trying to school you about Palestine.
I dared him to threaten me. I was like, yeah, please. Got plenty of people who want to kill me, who want to threaten me. Please, you live once, live through truth. It's the only way. Video editor Damon.
Oh, look at this. Oh, I see. And they're already prepping by calling Linda Sarsour out. Okay, go ahead.
Video editor Damon Rosen compiled speeches from a July 1st Black Lives Matter protest in Seattle. Damon told Arutz Sheva, "I've been aware of the links between the BLM organization and the BDS. Hey, all the more reason to like the BLM movement. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan, but hey, if they're going to do that."
Well, it makes sense. It makes sense. Most groups that at least claim to speak for marginalized and oppressed people support the BDS movement. It's just logical.
Since their first delegation to Palestine back in 2015, as well as their links to CAIR, the Council of American Islamic Relations and Anti-Semite. Sorry. Okay, so as two whiteys that have actually been to multiple CAIR events, here's what I can assure you about anybody who speaks in derogatory terms regarding CAIR. They have never once been to one of their events. They have no idea as to what is spoken about at those events. The only thing they know with absolute certainty, which CAIR does not hide, is that they are against the state of Israel. And for that reason alone, they are persona non grata. They are evil people, and they must be put down like a wild animal. As we know, they are a wonderful organization on the side of truth and justice. And that's why.
And let me also say something about the Muslim community in terms of the, I don't know what the word is in Arabic. Maybe somebody in the chat could put it in phonetically. But what in Judaism, we call it tzedakah, which is giving charity. But in the mosques, the amount of money that's given is very large. Everybody there is constantly putting money in to help. And it's mutual aid in their community. It's stuff for people in need. It isn't to build some big shrine somewhere. And then at those events, at those CAIR events, what I noticed was a lot of people raising their hands and donating money to help Palestinian children who are being Holocausted. So I actually never sat in a room of more generous people than the last CAIR event that we went to. So
their outright hatred for the state of Israel, bravo, their blood libels and growing ties to the Nation of Islam were very troubling to me years ago, and things seem to be getting worse by the day. Since the death murder of George Floyd, I've noticed the mainstreaming and acceptance of Louis Farrakhan, the biggest anti-Semite in America, and the sick narrative that today's Jews aren't really Jews. It bothers me tremendously to see the Black community that we pat on the head and tell them they're good little people. turn against the Jewish community, which was at the forefront of the civil rights movement, while embracing the people who still actively enslave them in the Arab world.
Who's actively enslaving the Black people in the Arab world? The white people from this world. The people that are enslaving the Black people in places like Africa are colonialist, capitalist, corporatist people, not the people of that. Now, are there people in Africa that basically do the bidding of the white colonialists?
Just colonialists. Just
of
colonialists.
Course there are. There are always those people that will sell out their own. But for the most part, no. They're not enslaved in the Arab world, you moron.
Their hypocrisy of preaching inclusion while demonizing Jews and Israel is astounding and troubling. So as you can see, the conflation of Judaism and Zionism is one and the same. They will not allow any airspace in between the two. They can't, because their entire ideology is conscripted to that end. If they were to deviate from it ever so slightly, it's already collapsing as it is. I mean, it would just collapse altogether very quickly if that were the case. It's astounding and troubling. I look at how Jews live in fear. In fear. They live in fear. I don't feel safe in France and don't want to see the same thing happen in America. Guess what? It is happening in America, and there's nothing you can do to stop it.
But you know why those Jews may be in fear? And again, I don't really care. Like, I don't care about how they feel. That's a big problem with all of these people, is this presumption of an entitlement to feeling safe. You're not entitled to feelings. That's not how this works. But so I don't really give a shit if the Jews in France feel unsafe. But if they do feel that way, and if they are potentially that way, it's because of pieces of shit like Damon Rosen. It's because of people like Laura Loomer. That's why that would even be the case. And again, if they feel unsafe, that's a shame. So it's unfortunate you don't have some sort of like right to just feel good. That's just not how this works.